Now then, guys, it's Phil, it's All Leeds TV, and we are back with another big match preview. And I'm super excited to say that we've got someone that pretended to be a Leeds fan and has now turned up as an Arsenal fan with us. We've got the one and only LoLo coming live to us from Brooklyn, and obviously joined by Chris as well. But come on, hello, LoLo, welcome back.
That's messed up. That's messed up, man. Pretended to be an Arsenal fan or pretended to be a Leeds fan. Well, listen, I'm an Arsenal fan to my core. However, y'all came up to the Premier League last season with a thunder, and we showed a little bit of love to that, trying to show that we wanted to learn about you guys, and we got a lot of respect from Leeds United supporters saying like, okay, this is a guy who's clearly stating, I don't know anything about your club, and I would like to know, and we did fall in love with your club. Both Mark and I fell in love with the club, and the fans, you guys, are the biggest part of that. Bielsa was a very big part of that, but
Me too,
but
mate.
you guys, the fans, were a huge part of that. What's up, Gary?
So yeah, we've got a wonderful guest with us tonight who I'm really excited to have. I'm going to get into why you're here in a couple of minutes, but obviously as well, I want to say hello to Chris. Thank you for joining us again, mate. You're looking remotely cheerful for someone in our position. Are you excited for the weekend?
Yeah, I think I am. It's been nice to watch some good football this week. Not having to think about our position. So yeah, I've enjoyed the European matches. But yeah, back into it now.
Yeah, I must admit it has been quite peaceful watching everyone else and someone else being miserable after beating Leeds. That's nice. But obviously the weekend is coming and I'm not excited that it's the weekend. I would have happily dragged this out longer, I'm not going to lie. Fingers crossed, though, we've got plenty of positive things to go into. And I think even from Lolo's side, who is obviously going to be giving us just a little bit of his Arsenal stuff coming in and perhaps telling us he wants them to win. That might happen. But I do think he might say some nice things about us too, which is good. So straight to it, Lolo. The reason that you are here, other than the fact that I absolutely adore you and love having you on these shows, when
It sounds like gotcha journalism right here. You're like, we heard this rumor about you in the press. I'm like, ah!
No. So I messaged you. I went on a holiday with the family and we bumped into a couple of different families while we were abroad. And they recognized us, me, not the missus, just saying. They recognized us while we were abroad from the channel. And they specifically stopped me to say, you need to do more things with that Lolo guy. We love his happy hour. So these two families were both from Dublin. So maybe it's not surprising that the Irish will stay up late to drink with you. So fair enough. I hope they don't mind me saying that. But they were massive fans of yours. They wanted to see us do more things together. And they just basically wanted me to try and introduce you to them. I think they probably already have. So one of them, the guys that spoke to me the most was a guy called Bono. Although I think his real name is Bono's an Irish guy. He's apparently always in with you.
He'll be on later tonight, and then we do a lock-in after our happy hour. Like if 2 hours aren't enough of us, we send out the link right before the show's over, and anybody can call in and come backstage and hang out with us for a little bit as we let our hair down a little bit. But good to see you, Robbie. Robbie's always on our channel as well. But yeah, that's crazy. You ran into Bono. That's nuts. Yeah,
mate, I was on a nice family holiday with the missus and the kids.
Where were you?
My time. We're in Greece, Falaraki.
In Greece.
And just going for a drink at the bar one night, and a couple of people said hello to me, and I was like, "Shit, do I know you?" And they knew my name, and I was like, "Where do I know you from? Where have I met you before?" And then eventually they said, "Oh yeah, we watched the channel." And we're just massive fans of Lola. They came to speak to me because they wanted to talk about you.
Well done, Bono. Way to represent the Stoop crew. I love it.
Yeah.
See, I need to send him some stickers so he can be
always full of your guys. So I expect a lot of them in here tonight.
They will be. I told him last night. We did a show with James last night, our Arsenal Leeds predictions, and checking in with James because he was in Leeds for a week. He was in London for a few days for the Palace match, and then was in Leeds for about a week. So we did our check-in, and I told him, I was like, I need you guys all in the comments section. I know most of y'all are Leeds fans, but still, You're representing Leeds as well as the Stoop crew. All right?
Yeah.
My Stoopers.
Yeah. There is a man that I will definitely be coming to you on very shortly. I want to know a lot more about what he's got to say for this game. I mean, Chris, you've not had the pleasure, unfortunately, but James is basically like put all of us together, and weirdly enough, like, yeah, obviously lives stateside, but he knows everything about Leeds United more than me and you put together. It's really fucking weird, but you'll talk to him, and obviously, like, we need to get into the Jesse Marsh stuff with you, Lolo, but and how that's gone down over there. But you do hear the accent, you automatically think, no, they're not going to know anything like I do about Leeds. But he genuinely, if we do a trivia quiz, James will dick us every time. He's a character.
He was literally getting arrested in the 80s, service crew in Leeds when he was living there. Like, yeah. So
Yeah,
he is
a legend.
so hardcore Leeds. And he even said yesterday, he was like, listen, I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to harp on the chances of us getting relegated. But I'll tell you right now, the moment we're relegated, I'm canceling my Peacock subscription, which is how we watch Premier League. And I'm getting an ESPN Plus subscription because they carry the championship.
Right.
And I will not watch any Premier League because it doesn't fucking matter to me, because if it's not Leeds, fuck them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's pretty much how we feel, to be fair, as well, isn't it, Chris? So, Chris, I'm going to come to you, mate. There's a big game on Sunday. Take away the fun that we're trying to have tonight, but we will have to touch on the sad subject that is where we are right now. And obviously, Jesse Marsh has given his pre-match press conference. I always struggle to say that sentence, but he gave his pre-match presser today. Good news that Liam Cooper should play. Good news that Patrick Bamford has been training, is on course to play the last couple of games. Obviously spoke a bit about Dallas and Forshaw, Tyler Roberts, Somerville. Their seasons are all over, obviously. But does the team news in having Liam Cooper back give you some faith? Obviously, Lolo, just for a heads up, we'll do lineup predictions. If you want to do Arsenal's instead of Leeds, you're more than welcome to. And score predictions at the end, so don't reveal those too early. But James, Chris, sorry, I don't know where I'm getting James from. Chris, how are you feeling going into the weekend with the news that Jesse Marsh has given today?
I think having Cooper there is always a positive. It sounded like he was nailed on to start. I think especially because Dallas is out, we're a bit light. I know he's not a natural defender, but he would have been probably nailed on to start at left back.
Yeah.
So it does give us some options, and I don't even know what the back four or back five is going to go with. Which maybe it's good. Keeps everyone on their toes. I think it's certainly a step down from Man City, not being disrespectful to Arsenal, but they don't quite have the same threats. But
you're reeling him in early, are you?
But yeah, I do think it's one of the harder games that we've got left. I think Chelsea will be an easier match, given where they are, their priorities for the season. But no, I'm optimistic. I think we've got all to play for her.
Yeah, Lolo, I'm going to ask you the Man City game. Did you catch Leeds' last game last weekend, and what did you make of, first of all, our performance? Obviously, I know the result didn't go our way, but Jesse Marsh spoke today and he compared Arsenal to basically like a kind of similarity to Man City in terms of Arteta and Guardiola, the way they both play, and you like to pass the ball, you'll keep the ball. How do you feel after watching that game? Our chances are in this game, and ours, I mean Leeds, and you can be as smug as you like. Ideally, not smug.
Well, no. It's interesting, the comparison between Manchester City and Arsenal. There is the Pep connection, but I've been saying for forever that in Arteta's mind, because we're all screaming like, we need somebody like Giroud back. We need these big strikers. We need Dusan Vlahovic. We need Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We need these guys. And I just keep thinking like, well, you know, that type of striker, the big, the fox in the box type, doesn't do much all game, but then is always in the right position where you need him. Because right now we're sending crosses into the box to 5 foot tall Lacazette, or, you know, Martinelli is on Dan Burn, and you're like, this isn't going to fucking work, man. But I just keep, in my head, it just keeps ringing true that Arteta isn't interested in one 25-goal scorer. Arteta is more interested in having 5 guys on our team in double-digit goals. And if you look at it right now, we've got Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka who already have 10, over 10. And, Martinelli's not far away. Frickin' our center back, Gabriel, has as many as Lacazette from open play.
That's very Man City in itself, though. City
but
the
see,
same.
That's what I'm saying. That's a very similar thing where we can play a possession-based game and you never know who's going to shoot. And so it makes it harder to predict, and it also makes it easier to get out of trickier situations. That's why Man City can have a bad game and still beat you, like they did to us, where we were by far the better team on the day, and it was Rodri who got the winning goal. Why was he in the box at that moment?
He scored the first against us last weekend. We're used to
it. Exactly. So that being said, we do not have the squad that they have. We do not have the depth that Manchester City had. So are we a Man City light? We are Man City like 0.
I'm glad you described it as that. I was really trying hard to word it in a way that wasn't offensive.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly how Marsh did. He was quite diplomatic in it.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, they're not calling us Burnley light. They're not calling us like, Frankfurt light or something. This is Man City, one of the best teams in the world, no matter what happened at Real Madrid. But those sort of situations are also similar. The negative side of Man City is very similar to Arsenal as well, where we will sort of be too relaxed and sit there with possession, and then the end of the game ends and we lost by 1 goal. Yeah. Where you're like, wait, we just forgot to go forward at some point. Or like with Everton, where we go up a goal and then we're like, okay, we got this, and we sort of lay back, and they come back and score 2 wonder goals on us, and we lose the game.
Fingers crossed. That would be nice for us, wouldn't it?
So that being said, coming all the way back around to the Leeds United Man City match, I watched that whole thing, and guys, Jesus, had you played that way against Crystal Palace, you win that match.
Absolutely, man.
You guys were, I hate to say, you were freaking garbage against Crystal Palace. How you got a draw and we lost 3-0 or whatever we lost, I don't understand it. That's football. But had you guys been a bit better, crisper passing against Palace, you should have beat them. So Man City, you guys come out and you're like, and it's a bit of the we got nothing to lose here. If we get a point, it's a point well earned. If we get 3 points, it's a point. If we lose here, no big deal.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it from being embarrassing. Yeah. So you guys attacked. Your passing was crisper. There was it just comes down to finishing for you guys. Yeah. And I don't know if not starting Dan James was the answer, because Dan James is one of the guys who can find the back of the net. That being said, that allowed Jack Harrison to be a little bit more active, which I think very highly of Jack Harrison. Even though he's not the finished product, he's hungry, he fights, he's aggressive, he's got a little bag of tricks, and he can knock them in, as we've seen. So I said on my show yesterday, I keep playing every night when I go up to bed, before I go to bed, I play one game of FIFA, and I play Arsenal at home against Leeds United. I try and get the team that I think is going to play. Yeah, I lose half the time. And here is the key. The first team to score generally wins in my FIFA matches, because you guys come out on the front foot like you did against Man City, and had one of those gone in, it's a different game. Like they didn't seem quite ready for the attack that you were putting on. They came out with a little bit of a laziness of like, all right, we'll kick the ball around and we'll get in there. Don't worry, we have time. But you guys came at them, and if one of those goes in, if somebody gets on the end of one of those crosses, you know you're not going to sit back and go, okay, we're going to win 1-0 against City. You're going to replay that exactly the same way. Now City's going to have to move forward a little bit, and to get that goal back, that's going to open up more space behind for your pacey wingers, your speedy runners, and that's how it can easily become 2-0.
Yeah.
So it's that first goal, and to me, that's where my team can be detrimental to us if we don't come out on the front foot. So we need to be the ones to get that first goal, get you guys chasing, and then we go over the top. That's when, if we go up, when Leeds go down a goal, your back line comes up 10 yards.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's 10 yards more space. And yes, Luke Ayling is the best left back or right back in the world, as Leeds United fans always tell me. Anytime I offer on the show, I'm like, who would you rather have, Reece James, João Cancelo, or Trent Alexander-Arnold? They all say Luke Ayling. Easy.
All of them. You can't ask me. I think other than the Ayling shout there, I think Chris would probably agree with me. 99% of everything you just said is a very fair shout. And to be honest, the questions I'm going to ask you, Chris. So first of all, is there anything out of that you don't agree with? And then second of all, because of some of the tactical things that Lolo was saying there and the comparisons that Marsh made between Arsenal and City, I mean, I personally thought from the sounds of the press conference that it doesn't sound like the 5 at the back is going to be a thing. It sounds like we will revert to the 4-2-3-1. Obviously, we'll get onto lineup predictions later, but do you actually think that we would have more chance of getting a result playing the way we did against City, against Arsenal, in that 5-2, 5-3-2, fucking 3-4-3, whatever the fuck it was, or just sticking with our 4-2-3-1? What's your opinion on the tactical battle and how you think we go about it?
Yeah, I think it's slightly different to the Man City game because that was a free hit, so to speak. I mentioned before, all of Marsh's games so far have felt like cup finals. Even the first two against was it Villa and Leicester, we were under pressure there, and we're under extreme pressure now. So I don't think he can go into this in the same relaxed way, because we need to get something, whether it's a point, whether it's 3 points. I think potentially 5 at the back will be a safer bet for this game. But yeah, I think he's going to go with 4 at the back.
When you say a safer bet, don't forget, obviously, I know it was Man City, and I'm going to throw out there, we conceded 4 with that 5 at the back, whereas when we played 4 at the back for the previous 7 games, obviously you take the first 2 out, they were shit, especially Villa. Leicester, obviously, we played well, lost. But the 5 games that preceded that, where we went on that unbeaten run, we only conceded a couple of goals here and there, and our defensive record was good in a 4. Do you not think we can have the defensive solidity in a 4 that we feel like we had in the 5 last week, even though that we obviously conceded 4?
I think the main worry is who we've got to play in that 4.
True.
We've got a bit of a gap on one side. I'm quite happy with Ayling on the right. And
just for Lolo's, right? Can you tell him where the gap is, just so he knows, just in case he hasn't heard?
Yeah, Junior Firpo?
Yeah, that's it. Well done.
No, I was just thinking. I'm so glad Firpo's going to play. It's going to be the battle of who gets the first yellow card between him and Xhaka. Firpo just steps on the pitch and they're like, yellow.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It must be a record within fucking 10 minutes, at least 6-7 times. It's ridiculous. I don't know how he goes. What does he think before he steps on a pitch? Right, I'll give myself 10 minutes here and then I'm going to twat somebody. Like, what's the mentality? Anyway, let's move away from Firpo. I'll get into digging him out shortly. I'm going to ask you, Lola, I don't want to do the typical thing that English journalists have been doing with Jesse Marsh by immediately saying to Ted Lasso, but I am going to ask you a question based on where you live. What is the reception or the attitude towards Jesse Marsh coming in at Leeds been stateside? I mean, I'd love to know James's view on Jesse Marsh and Leeds and whether that's a good marriage. What's he had to say and how do you feel about it?
So it's kind of tough here because we're still as mostly Premier League fans. Like we don't really follow NFL, baseball, basketball, anything. We follow it casually, so we can talk to people. But here it's not like you live in Leeds or something, and if somebody's walking down the street, they're generally a Leeds fan. Here, like, if somebody's like, "Oh, you're the guy who does the soccer show, right?" Yeah. I'm a Manchester United fan, right? Are they playing today? And I'm like, it's Thursday. What? Like, like, shut up.
That's such an English response to an American question. I love that.
It's fucking Thursday. No. But
they used to play on a Thursday night on Channel 5.
Well, yeah, they used to play in Europe as well, but that's been done for a while this season.
Yeah,
but so it's tough. A lot of there's a few Leeds United fans who live around here, and I see them every now and then, and they'll usually ask me, what do I think about Jesse Marsch, as opposed to giving, like, we're still the most knowledgeable people around about football. So it's hard to figure out what everybody thinks about that going on over here. I'm sure a lot of American fans are happy that he joined and didn't immediately fail, like didn't lose the first 5 matches. Right now, he seems to have steadied the ship a little bit, and James's response to it all has been, look, he's answering the questions right. He's saying the things we need to hear. He said he's not going to throw out everything that Bielsa did. He's going to use that as a base and then correct the things that he feels are issues. And a lot of those are the issues that most Leeds United fans are talking about. The burnout, the small squad, listen, if our training sessions are going to be as difficult, if not more difficult than an actual match, then you got to have more than 11 starters. Like, you got to. You just have to. And that was something we were talking about on the show yesterday, where I was like, yeah, you can blame this on Bielsa all you want, but Bielsa is who he is. The management should have bought players despite him and said, fine, you don't have to use him. You don't like him, that's fine. But we're gonna go buy Jesse Lingard and put him here. We're gonna buy Donny Van de Beek and put him on the bench. You don't have to use him. You don't have to use him. But you know what I mean? Buying these like 20 million pound players, buying these, like getting a few of them and being like, I know you don't like them and they don't run hard enough. That's fine. We're just gonna put them here just in case, because then something happens. I mean, you guys are talking about Stuart Dallas, one of my favorite Leeds United players. The Cookstown Cafu. Yeah, man. But listen, he's played nearly every single position besides keeper.
Yeah.
For you guys. And he's somebody who a lot of people will say is not a Premier League player. He's a really good championship player. I disagree. I think he's made himself. Yeah. He's become a Premier League player. But right now, what is his position?
Everywhere.
What does he play? Exactly. And you need all those players. So then when things happen, when you lose Coops, when you lose Calvin Phillips, and you're moving Luke Ayling and Stuart Dallas around, like it's not sustainable. As they can be their best for as long as they can, but it's just not sustainable. Like you need to have backups for those. So Jesse Marsch, I feel, is doing all the right things. Yeah. He sees what Leeds United means beyond the football pitch as well. Yeah. And so I feel like he's engaging with the city. He's engaging with the fans. He keeps saying how him and his wife moved there.
I love this because I know this is from one of your guys.
Absolutely not, Mr. Tom. I'm just warming up for happy hour. Don't you worry. I haven't even cracked a beer yet. I'm on the soda water.
Good lad. I mean, Chris, you for example, are going to know that pretty much everything LoLo said there about Bielsa and all that stuff, I lap that shit up. I love anyone coming on here and giving me something other than Bielsa needed to go. The blame isn't just on one person, but let's not get into that. We'll be here all night. Chris, I need to ask quite a few different questions from so many different angles of everything LoLo says, but I don't know where to begin. So, I mean, talking about Sunday, and I'm going to ask you a question so that I can lead Lolo into a question. Obviously, I'm going to assume Lolo watches every big match preview and every player ratings, and he knows that we are both shitting ourselves now about relegation, although you are slightly more confident. I was going over our player ratings the other night, earlier today, and just double-checking everything, and you were still confident that we could get 2 more wins and reach 40 points. Going into Sunday, now that you've had a few days to calm down and think about it, are you still confident 40 points is achievable? And Ralph Hasenhüttl has said today 40 points might not keep you up. Do you think 40 points is achievable and keeps us up?
I think 40 points definitely keeps someone up. I think that's a safe number. I'm less confident than I was at the time. I think we're probably 2 games down the line since then. I was expecting to get a bit more from Palace. But I still think 2 games out of 4, it is achievable, even if it goes pear-shaped tomorrow, Sunday even. We've got time. Brentford, they might be safe by then, so they might have a lot to play for. Brighton, they've got absolutely nothing to play for. And I was going to say we've got a relatively fit team, but that couldn't be further from the truth. We've got some options.
Look down. Look down.
I don't think it'll come to goal difference, though.
No, I think we'll go down on points. Lolo, from your point of view, as someone that, you've got the affinity, but you are primarily an Arsenal fan, do you think Leeds are going down? We need someone to tell us we're not, so please do.
I don't. For many reasons. Emotional reasons. Emotional reasons. First of all, I hate to keep saying this, but we did do our show yesterday, so it's all fresh in my head. But I said yesterday that out of all the teams that could potentially be relegated, and I'm looking at them right here: Watford, Everton, Leeds, Burnley, Southampton, Brentford. Out of all of them, like who, as a neutral, as a non any one of those supporters, who do I think deserves to be in the Premier League? Whose style of football do I want to watch on a weekly basis?
I mean, did you watch us at Watford just before you finished that sentence?
The 3-0 against Watford?
Yeah, it's a joke, but I'll let
the thing about you guys is Bielsa brought in this high risk, high reward football. So you're either going to win by 4 goals or lose by 8 goals. Like that's generally how it is. That being said, your ceiling, Leeds United's ceiling, is beating Manchester City with only 10 men.
Yeah,
that's your ceiling.
Higher than
Burnley's ceiling is accidentally winning 1-0 or getting, like, they're so proud of their 6 draws against the Big Six this season. Like, that's their fucking ceiling. Do I want to watch Burnley for one more season? No. Do I want to watch Everton? Talk about light, Manchester light. They're Man United light of how many almost world-class players can we get on the pitch at the same time who do not talk to each other? Who never practice together, clearly. They've got so much talent on that pitch, and it's just shit. So I would not mind if Everton went down. Watford is more enjoyable to watch than Burnley. That being said, I don't feel like they don't have the heart. They don't have the Southampton. Get the fuck out of here already, will you? So some legit team can get Ward-Prowse. Get that guy off of that team. I think Brentford actually deserve to be up. They've played some really good football. They just went through a very shitty big portion of the season. So with all of that, listen, Leeds United playing Manchester City the other day. Manchester City cannot drop a point because Liverpool is biting at their heels. So that match to them was as important as it was to you, just for different reasons.
Yeah.
The entire time, I don't know about y'all's broadcast, but for us, the entire time, the commentators are only talking about Leeds United. They're only talking about the fans. They're only talking about... But that's what I'm saying of like, oh man, Leeds United here. Well, with Leeds United, I'm like, am I logged into the Leeds United like live stream or something? But that just shows you the excitement. When y'all take the pitch, it's the excitement of anything can happen. So do you deserve to be in the Premier League based on your football? No. You're one of the worst teams in the league football-wise.
Yeah. Fair.
It's a combination of things, of injuries, of, the style of it's a combination of things. That being said, historically, the fan base and even on the bad games, like even losing 4-0 to City, it was an exciting match and you felt like you guys could get back in it at any time. Yeah. That type of football belongs in the Premier League. And the fact that no team goes up against Leeds knowing they're going to win. My team included this week, knowing that we have everything on the line as well.
An admission that you're getting beat. I'm taking that.
Just wait till you get to my prediction, and we'll see.
Chris, just in case you weren't sure, mate, that as a 5-minute speech is the way to win me round and make me feel confident the Leeds are staying up.
I'm just trying to get you to come to happy hour. That's all. I'm just pampering you until I murder you on happy hour.
And he's come here for half an hour. And I feel happy. That's what you need, Chris. So
I've been trying to convince you, but my confidence is slowly going.
Right, 1 minute. LoLo, 1-word answer. No more than 1 word, but can Leeds United get to 40 points? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, I believe you. Okay.
Now ask me if Burnley can.
Can Burnley get to 40 points?
Not a fucking chancey, little Nancy. No way. Look at Burnley's schedule. Look who they have. They have Aston Villa twice. They have Tottenham, and they have Newcastle. Newcastle will destroy them. Tottenham will...
Though? Can Everton get to 40 points?
Everton need an additional 2
away,
points.
Palace at home, Brentford at home, you lot away.
Listen, they just win at Liverpool, and I know they lost 2-0 to Liverpool, but they were in that for a lot of that, and they caused Liverpool a lot of trouble. They drew with Leicester, they beat Man United, they beat Chelsea. So Everton, I have no fucking clue about.
Right.
They could. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to Watford, lost to Brentford, lost to Palace, and then beat us on the last game of the season. That's the type of team they are. But I don't, I see Leicester beating them. I see Watford, maybe a draw there. Watford can't keep a clean sheet to save their life. Brentford, I think, sees themselves on par with Everton, if not better, and will go at them. Palace is in better form. But it's football, It's. I honestly don't think Everton get relegated in the end. Yo, you got another gunner subscribed. What up, BX? Good to see you, my man.
I was going to say, I keep trying to let you just have your moment, and then I'll wait till you're finished without interrupting you, but I know
it's not going to happen.
You can talk, and it's fine. We've got all the time in the world. But we have another subscriber, guys. If you're watching, you haven't already, like and subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. And then, obviously, do the same for On the Stoop. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Right, Chris, I need you to give me like a good 5 to 10 minute section of soliloquy here, just so people can hear you as well. But
right now, they just think you're a thumbnail. Right.
Yeah.
Now.
Leave it.
Chris, so obviously Lolo's given us quite a lot of positivity, and you're a positive Leeds United fan. You believe. Tell me something about the weekend that, other than the tactical stuff that we've already gone into, that you feel that is it the fans? Is it the momentum? Is it take away Man City? We have got form. What is it that makes you feel like a result is possible? And dare I say, Mark Viduka, does that inspire anything in you? And what?
Shut up, Mark Viduka.
Yeah, well, I mean, we certainly missed a centre forward like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's Joffy's moment. He's been in and out of the team. Maybe he can step up and lead the line. That's what I'm hoping to see anyway. I think the main. I don't know. I'm struggling to see any real weakness in Arsenal. Like LoLo said, they're all quite technical. They're quite well balanced across the team. I just think we've got plenty of attacking players.
It was 4-1 earlier in the season at Elland Road, and the atmosphere that day was electric from the Leeds fans. We didn't stop going until 15 minutes after the full-time whistle. That was a game where we had Archie Gray on the bench, I believe. We had so many people injured. We didn't call for a postponement. But did you see anything in that game that made you think that, I know that's under Bielsa and not Marsh, but is there anything from that makes you think that with our basically under 23s reserves on the pitch, that maybe with a stronger team that we have kind of available this weekend, that gives us a chance? And does it give us a chance to draw, or does it give us a chance to go there and win?
I think we'll be more solid, because I seem to remember a lot of the goals Arsenal seemed to just walk through us, and Martinelli, I think, got a couple of goals, and I think the man marking against the pace that Arsenal had that day didn't match up very well.
No.
So I guess they're going to limit the space, and I can't see it being a very high scoring game, to be honest.
Again, like you said, that's one of them games where, unfortunately, as much as God love him, you don't man mark against the top six because you're going to get dicked. Do you think that the lack of man marking and playing a more sensible style of football might play in our favour? And I think I agree with you. I think it closes the gap, definitely. I don't think we get 4-1, fingers crossed, again. But does it close the gap enough to get us close to actually bringing points down?
I think so. I think we've got enough in the middle now with Phillips and Click in there. I think I'm hoping that's what we're going to see in the middle. I remember we had absolutely no one on the bench. Like you said, it was just all of the children on the on the bench last time. So I don't know. It's going to be. It's on Rafinha again. It's on James. It's on Harrison. That they all need to have some big games. We've not been scoring many goals. So yeah, just hoping for an early goal. I think, like I said, it could be first goal could take it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And then obviously, Mr. Tom, you have hit the nail on the head. Unfortunately, it's a shame that the chosen one didn't understand that himself and maybe just against the top six, just tweak. But I like Danny's confidence. He thinks a Liam Cooper header in the 91st minute is going to get us 3 points, which would go a hell of a long way to look the title of this video, first of 4 cup finals. I hate the cliche of cup finals, but I do think we are in that territory now. And to be honest, I think if we could get anything out of this, I don't expect anything. I don't expect any points out of this game. But anything that we get is a bonus, and we can take it into the last 3 games and genuinely push towards staying up. I'm going to come to you now, Lolo. I want you to give us the Arsenal team that you expect to take the field. And I imagine it's 4-2-3-1, right?
Yeah.
So who's going to start for you?
Yeah. Actually, before I get to that, now that you came back to me, I feel like I haven't gotten to speak at all in this entire pod. So it's very disrespectful. But here, let me just give you, right before I do that, want me to tell you how you beat Arsenal?
Yeah, go.
I'll tell you how to beat us.
Tell Jesse Marsh, mate. We need it.
Jesse, I know you're watching because he subscribes to everything I do. He won't stop texting me. And I'm like, listen, I already gave you all the skinny jean connections in Leeds that I can find. But anyway, this is how you beat Arsenal. You have to, and it will be on those 2 guys that Chris was just talking about. It'll be on Calvin Phillips and Clichy. It'll be on them. If they can own the center of the pitch and push us wide and force everything out on Gabriel Martinelli and Saka on the outside and basically leave no space in there for Odegaard and Eddie Nketiah or Lacazette, depending who it is. If you force us out wide and force us to put crosses into the box, we will get nothing. And we will get frustrated and give the ball away. So that's what Burnley did to us. We just could not get inside to create the little bits of magic that we can do, and a goal can come out of nowhere from either Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Odegaard, all Saka, everybody in there. Even Xhaka getting in on goals. Elneny loves to shoot. People like that. So the way to beat us is to own that center of the pitch and not let us play around in the box there. Force us out wide, force us to throw crosses in the box. We have nobody to head in shots.
Because our weakness is wide areas. The middle of the pitch seems to be, apart from Man City's third goal, where we're normally okay. It's the wide areas. So that offers something.
So it can work. This is how you lose, unfortunately. So the key to winning as well would be don't allow us any corners.
Right.
I think we've scored like the second most goals off of corners or something like that. We're high up there on scoring from corners because our defenders are actually big and can head the ball.
Yeah.
So when we're in attack and we're crossing the ball, the defenders are like, we're over here, like we can't help you. 5 foot tall Lacazette. So with that, and that's one of y'all's weaknesses as well, is defending set pieces. And then on the other end, y'all can't rely on set pieces because we also have one of the best defensive records against set pieces as well. I know we've given up a couple in the past few weeks on set pieces, but on corners specifically, and we got a new corners coach and he's locked shit down for us. So we've been amazing actually on defending corners. So don't rely on corners and don't let us have any corners because, like I said, Gabriel Magalhaes, or however you say it, Gabriel, our center back, has as many headers from open play has as many goals from open play as Lacazette, our main striker. So, and those are all headed goals from corners. So, does that count as open play? No, right? So maybe just not non-penalty goals. Non-penalty goals. I was like, that's not a good stat. No, that doesn't make sense. Non-penalty goals, because Lacazette has like 3 penalties or something like that. So that being said, the team that we will start with.
I was about to try and bring you back to the question in case you'd forgotten.
No, I just wanted to explain to you, there is a way to beat Arsenal, and that's it. And it's to score first. Get that first crucial goal and make us have to press forward. So we will have Tomiyasu, Ben White, if he's healthy, and Gabriel, and I believe Nuno Tavares will start.
Yeah,
that's somebody that can be gotten at. I think he's on Rafinha's side actually, which is scary to me because he's our little mini Trent Alexander-Arnold. Loves getting forward, very creative up front, can't defend to save his life.
Okay, yeah, that's
so. Fair. Yeah,
I thought you were on about like the 70-yard ball. I was like, no.
Just that he's much better going forward than he is as an actual defender. Okay. So we'll have those 4. If Ben White isn't available, I think Rob Holding gets back in for that.
I agree.
Which makes our corners even more dangerous because he's a giant. In front of him, we're gonna have Xhaka and Mohamed Elneny.
Yeah.
They've both been playing excellent these past few games. Going. Like, I can't say enough about their play the past few matches. It's been fantastic. Odegaard right in front of them. He'll be the midfield maestro, pulling all the strings. If y'all can take him out of the match, we lose like 50% of our creativity on there. Everything else is out wide.
Hit him, Calvin. Just hit him.
Yeah, just hit him. Yeah, he is. He's like from Norway. He's a little bit of a softie, so you could take him out. You get your Jamaican Yorkshireman to come and take him out at the knees. And then up front, I believe So up front, that's where the confusion starts, because we have either Gabriel Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe, Eddie Nketiah, Lacazette, Saka, Pepe. So we have all those guys to choose from.
Pepe's not starting, we know that.
But could Saka get a rest and we put pace up front with Pepe? I don't think so. I don't think there's any resting going on. We got nothing else we're playing. So Saka plays on the right. On the left, we've been starting Emil Smith-Rowe. For some reason, I see Gabriel Martinelli in there. And Emil Smith-Rowe will come off the bench and score a goal in the first 2 minutes he's on. That's what he usually does. And then I think Eddie Nketiah gets a start again.
Yep.
Up front instead of Lacazette. So
that is exactly the 11. Apart from, I thought Smith-Rowe might start instead of Martinelli.
That's a toss-up. Yeah.
But other than that, you've named the exact 11 that I put out on the pre-match preview, which is available on my Patreon page and our Twitter if you go and have a look. So good plug.
All right.
So there we go. Yeah, that gives us a good inclination of what to expect from Arsenal.
And look, BX Gunner nailed it with that last comment. Nailed it. That's exactly what I'm saying about if we're not up from it, from the kick, from the whistle, y'all, and you put one in the back of the net, you actually take a chance, we'll be rocked, and that's when you can easily get a second one. So it's going to be, I'm telling you, those first 10, 20 minutes of the match are going to be the most crucial.
And like you said, finishing is our strong point, so there we should expect that. It was irony, just pure irony. Chris, I'm going to come to you, mate. I want you to give me your Leeds United starting 11. Before 1 minute, Lolo, do you want to have a crack at this as well, or do you want? You look at me like
I mean, I can totally do it. I know enough of your players.
In that case, we will go. I'm not going to do the goalkeeper. We'll go for a back four, including the goalkeeper. So Meslier and this back four, because I think it's a 4. Unless Chris, you want to tell me a 5. Do you think it's a 4 or a 5, Chris?
Part of me is wanting a 5 purely because I'd like to see Ayling have a chance to attack a bit more, and if Thurpe is going to be playing, I think he will be better as well, having 3 centre backs. Give me
the 5 that you want, and then potentially also the 4 that you expect.
So I haven't decided which one I want. I'm veering more to the 4. I'd want it to be Ayling, Koch, Cooper, and I think Strike on left back. I think that'll be more solid.
Yeah, and if there was a 5, would you just add Firpo on the end of that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, Lolo, would you want to do 4 or 5 if you were Leeds, and who would you put in there?
I would definitely go with the 5.
Right.
It's so looking at your lineup from last week. So you had Firpo, Strauch, Koch, Ayling, and Stuart Dallas, it looks like, as your back.
It changed a lot during the game, mate.
It all moves around. I would actually, so Stuart Dallas is out. I don't know about you guys, but I would like to see Shackleton back on the pitch. Maybe not for this match, but I think Shackleton offers some. I don't know. He offers a lot. I was impressed with him when he played earlier this season and last season. Yeah. He's got to have grown a bit, right? But I don't know. He hasn't been healthy. He hasn't done anything.
If Scotty's watching, he'll be all over it because he never, ever stops raving about wanting Shackleton at right back. But for me, I just don't think he's got the physicality for it. I think he's a centre mid. And centre mid is somewhere where we're lacking as well at the moment. So you can put him in there if you want. But I think he's a sub. And there's nothing wrong with being a sub for Leeds United in the Premier League. But
yeah. But I do think you're going to need, I think, with the 5 at the back, just because we have, once again, there's not one player you need to cover. It's not like, okay, just stick on Nketiah and you'll be fine. All of our guys are young, speedy, moving in and out, weaving in and out. So the more help you have back there, and then, someone can fly forward like Ayling.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, I guess I was wrong about Shackleton. I just remember I thought he came in and did quite well.
If that's who you like, it doesn't. We all have different opinions. You can more than
what happened to like Somerville and Cresswell? Like, what happened to all these guys?
Somerville's injured, out for the season. Cresswell is very much available and on the bench. And let's be honest, I mean, even Rhiannon's put here, she'd love to see him play. A lot of people want to see him, but I think it's one of these with the younger players where. I was listening to the Leeds that I don't know if you saw it, Chris. They did an interview with Hayden Evans, the agent. He's Cresswell's agent. He's Shackleton's agent. He wasn't speaking about them specifically. He was speaking about Joffrey, and he was just saying like people are always shouting for him to start, but you have to also take into account you can kill a player by starting them and it not going well. You do have to have patience with them. So I personally think when Cresswell has stepped in this season, especially, the West Ham game, made his debut, full debut, I think he's been ridiculously good. But at the same time, I do see the argument for not throwing him straight in. I think maybe at half-time in the City game when the injury happened to Dallas, I could have seen him coming on then and that making sense. But at the same time, I was happy for Dan James to come on. But no, I mean, touching on the back fours and fives that you've both given, I do like the idea of the five. I thought, like I said last week, that it was probably our best performance under Jesse Marsh in that formation. But at the same time, I prefer us in the 4-2-3-1. I think it suits the players that we've got. And I 100% agree with what you're saying, Lolo, about defensively. We have to realise we are against a superior side that are attacking us. But I think for us to get the best out of our players going forward and have a chance of, like you say, scoring that first goal gives us a chance to win the game. And I think if we sit too deep and contain against you, we're not going to be able to make the chances that we need to score. Whereas if we have players in wide areas, which is the only thing that we really have as a strength, if you have Rafinha, like you said, up against Nuno Tavares, I think that's the way that we go and get something from the game. So I'd prefer to see a 4-2-3-1. I make no bones about it. I don't want to see Junior Firpo at left back. I'd genuinely rather put Kiko Casilla back from loan and put him at left back. I think Luke Ayling obviously starts right back. I think Robin Koch, by the sounds of it, Diego Llorente has been training, but Marsh specifically said Cooper will play. He didn't say anything about Llorente. So I think Koch and Cooper will start as the two centre-backs. And then I think, unfortunately for me, Junior Firpo will start at left back. But even with that back four, for a fact, Firpo's going to get booked, like you said, in the first 10 minutes and he'll be off at half-time, hopefully. So get Pascal on at left back or Leo Hjelde on the bench. I think with the four, and then obviously we'll step into midfield in a minute, I think the four gives us more chance of attacking better rather than just simply trying to contain. I don't want to just try and hold out for a 0-0. I do want to try and go and win the game if possible. And if we can't win the game, then obviously defend resolutely. But we've shown we can do that in a four. So who would you have, Chris, in front of that back four or five? Either way, I imagine it's a two.
Yeah, so and I don't think we've got a lot of choice in this area. So it's going to be Phillips and Click there. I think Click's going to be important again. He's been. Well, he was almost our man of the match for the last game, and I think we need him in the middle if we're going to sort of get any chances to nick a goal or two.
Yeah, no, I agree. I found it interesting, actually. Jesse Marsh said today, had Cooper not pulled out in the warm-up, Dallas was actually going to be starting next to Calvin Phillips in the 6 role, the CDM. Obviously, we're not going to get the chance to see that now, but do you think that would have changed anything with the City game? Do you really think that was something that we needed? Because obviously there's no Forshaw now. Mateus Click is more suited to a more advanced role. And, Robin Cox played there as well. But is there anyone that suits that role quite like Dallas does? And are you now just sort of thinking it's going to be Phillips and Click in that role till the end of the season?
I think so, because I don't even know if it suits Dallas, because he hasn't really played that much in there. I guess he played in the middle a few times for Bielsa, but it was a completely different position.
Yeah, it's a bit further up.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it's a bit untried.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see how it worked out, but it was just something that caught my eye earlier, and I was a bit like, because I remember you saying on the player ratings, was that the way that it was meant to get set up in a 5? Was that what they practiced?
Yeah.
And apparently not. So, Lolo, who are you putting in front of our back four? Are you going the same? Are you going Calvin Phillips and Mateus Click as the double pivot?
Yeah, I think originally I had said a back five, but no. After hearing your argument for that, Phil, and then looking at what I would do up front, I think the back four would be better, and then Cleach and Calvin right there. And listen, guys, that's not a terrible pairing right there. When you look at Calvin Phillips and Mateus Cleach, and we got Xhaka and El Nene, like, I wouldn't say one pairing is better than the other right there, like for such important roles. Clearly, Calvin Phillips is the best out of the four of those, I would say. But Cleach isn't. Cleach has been. He gets a lot of crap from a lot of Leeds fans, but I feel like he does his job. He makes some stupid mistakes, but so does Xhaka. But I think
a disciplinary record of Xhaka, so that's good for us.
Yeah. But I think you're solid right there.
On Sunday, can you tell him to just get sent off, please?
Oh, this is definitely the one where it's he's due. I think he's had like one yellow card in 4 matches, so yeah, he's due.
He should have been sent off last time he played us, if I remember rightly.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, I can never argue that. If anybody ever says Xhaka should have been, you're probably right.
Safe bet,
yeah.
Safe bet.
Was it Gelhardt or was it Rafinha? He was very high over the ball. I don't even think he got booked for it.
No, I don't think it was.
Mental. But yeah, no, Granit Xhaka is, if you ever were going to take betting advice from anybody, Lolo, who's just given you your one to watch for Sunday, get money on a booking for Junior Firpo and a red card for, you don't bother betting on the goals.
No, the goals you don't know. Yeah.
So, Chris, I don't really know whether to ask you. I'm going to ask you to go for, there's if you've gone for a 5, give me your 3. If you've gone for a 4, give me your 4. Who's up there after whatever madness is going on behind it?
So I think Rafinha's definitely in there.
Yes.
I think you can't really argue against that. I think I'd go Rodrigo and Harrison for the other 2 slots.
Yeah. And if there is 4, do you think Dan James is that 4th? Or you'd go Gelhardt, I imagine, there.
I'd go Gelhardt, yeah. I think James off the bench for this one.
Yeah. I mean, he did say today, he was specifically asked about the Dan James up front thing, Jesse Marsh, and he did say, like, he understands people getting frustrated with Dan James being a striker because he's not a striker. And we've said on this show numerous times, it's really frustrating to hear people have a poor opinion of Dan James because I think he's really good, to be honest. I actually really like him in a Leeds shirt. I just think if we could see him more in his natural position, people wouldn't be so down on him. But he's not, especially the striker role for Leeds United. It's Patrick Bamford. It's someone that can hold the ball up whilst also bringing other people into play, and that's not Dan James's forte, is it? Like, he just wants to run in behind and use his pace, and realistically, that's why he's a fucking winger and where he should be. I actually think if we're talking about wingers, I think he's probably a better winger than Jack Harrison, but that's a debate we'll see for next season if it happens. But yeah, I like what Hayden Evans had to say on the Leeds that interview, that with Joffy, perhaps maybe don't rush him so much and pick your moments. I mean, give him more minutes by all means. I think as a sub he's brilliant, and I want him on for at least half an hour, maybe even on at half time if it ain't working. But I don't mind seeing James start, and especially when, like Lolo says, with Arsenal's defence, they're not the easiest to get at in terms of breaking them down with passes. And as we saw against City, if Arsenal are a City light, maybe getting in behind them is the only way we can really get that opening goal and then go and drop in a little bit. So I know some people will say this, unless we play Joppy up front, don't see where the goals come from. But I do think there is something to having Dan James up front. Let's be honest, it worked away in London against West Ham earlier in the season. And, we'd all berated him for not being a striker. He comes out and scores an absolutely brilliant goal and gets involved in a couple of the others as well. So I don't know. I'm torn between who I would and wouldn't go for, but I'm okay if it is that way. Lolo, what about you, mate? If it's a 3 or a 4, who are your 3 or 4 going up the top for Leeds?
I'm definitely going Rafinha, Rodrigo, Jack Harrison, and Dan James. I think pace, speed is how you will get through us. When we start, everybody starts moving forward. El Nene and Shaka start going forward. All of a sudden, it becomes a foot race between Ben White or Rob Holding, whichever, if Ben White isn't fit. Gabriel. I think all of those guys fancy those races because Gabriel isn't the fastest and he makes mistakes when he gets beat.
Yeah. Your fullbacks
Nuno
are pretty quick though. They're quick.
They're very quick. Tomiyasu is very quick, and I think that side's going to be a bit harder. I believe that'll be the Jack Harrison side.
Yeah.
Which for us, that's a better matchup.
Yeah.
Nuno Tavares is very fast, but him one-on-one against Rafinha, not a chance.
Saw it against Man United with Alanga.
Yeah. I would like to see Rodrigo in the number 10 spot, actually. I think he's a striker. Remember, you guys are talking, we don't have any strikers. You bought him because you thought Patrick Bamford wasn't going to be good enough.
Mate,
so you guys spent all that money.
We have no idea what he is anymore.
So I think now that he's not having to man mark, everybody keeps saying Jesse Marsch is doing incredible things with Rodrigo and Cleach. They just don't have to man mark anymore. So they get to actually stay in their position, be a little lazy, but then they're in the right spot and they're an outlet for people. He can hold the ball up and pick a pass.
Yeah.
But I think with him and Dan James right in front of him, but that allows Dan James to sort of become like a half winger where he can go to the side that you want to press on. So if you see Nuno is having just a shitty game, then start leaning over towards this Rafinha side and double up on that.
Yeah.
And then that opens up space because Gabriel will follow him that way. Now Rodrigo can go through. Things like that where I think having whoever your fastest players are up front, that's going to be get into the foot race and then your fitness, because you guys still do have the murder ball fitness. We saw it towards the end of the City game where they were getting tired and you guys were still running your asses off. Yeah. We will get tired. We have caviar in the freaking dressing room. So, like,
I mean, one more betting tip that I am going to give people. If I was Dan James, who fucking loves a yellow card for smashing somebody, if I'm smashing anybody on Sunday, it's Granit Xhaka, just because you know for a fact he'll react. I would put money on it now. Dan James is getting booked first. I mean, it might be one of the fullbacks, like you say, Lolo, but I would specifically be targeting Granit Xhaka with one of them late smashes.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about? You don't want him to go in on Ben White because Ben White had some shit.
White's playing. I've heard he's injured, so I'm not expecting to see.
Right now, it's still up in the air, but we'll see. But I mean, he's the reason you guys got the one goal for him going on a stupid tackle on Rafinha.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I think most Leeds United fans, as much as we'd love to see Ben White back, we'd probably also much prefer to see Rob Holding. Chris, who would you rather play against?
Yeah, I don't think I want to see Ben White in the team, to be honest. So quite
best of luck to him and all, but I hope he's injured just for this weekend.
I gotta say, guys, if I were you, I would prefer Ben White over Rob Holding. To be honest, if I was watching from a Leeds perspective, because Rob Holding will sit back and defend and be 100% defender. Ben White starts to get caught up in the moving forward, the plays going on, and can get out of position. Rob Holding is more of a holding. He holds his place. He's less likely to drift out of position, and so I don't know. I think that's kind of a toss up. But you know who you guys are missing? For me, and you've been missing all season, and I see Spawny Mark in the house here, and he's going to love this comment because he's missing him too, and he mentions him almost any Leeds show that we do. Right. Spawny Mark mentions him. The guy you guys are missing this season is Johnny Alioski, man. Yeah, Talk about getting Xhaka sent off getting Gabriel sent off, getting Pep, like he's the one you need as the little shit starter. He's the umami in your bouquet, you know? He's that little, what we would say in New Orleans is a little lagniappe, which means just a little something extra.
Yeah.
He's that weird thing. It's not his footballing skills. Yeah. Granted, he's better than Firpo.
We know. Trust me, I think most Leeds fans, if you haven't got to this point yet where you accept that no matter how mad as a box of frogs Gianni Alioski was, fuck me, he's defo still better than Firpo. And to spend 15 million replacing Gianni Alioski with Junior Firpo is mental. Just for the fact that my missus still fucking talks about him. She's obsessed. And she misses him. And to be honest, it got to a point where I was like, I can't wait for him to leave. Just so I don't have to fucking hear that name anymore. Now, I wish we'd have just given him a contract that he'd genuinely just gone, sound. I mean, left back is probably the one where it's been worst, I'd say, this season. One position that has just never been held down. You can say CDM because obviously Calvin's been out. But, you know, Forshaw's come in and filled that at times.
Striker.
Koch. As Pascal, even Laurenti, I think once, but people have tried to fill the Calvin role. When Ayling's been out, I personally don't think so. But Lolo, you and Scotty all the time as well think Shackleton could do that job. I think for us at left back, there is. I mean, obviously there's the Patrick Bamford thing up front as well. You'll say maybe we don't have a striker without Bamford, but again, people will go back to Joffy. You might even say Rodrigo, but for me, there is no left back. Stuart Dallas can play anywhere, and you know now that he's gone, that left back slot is left to an absolute fucking liability for me. I'd pretty much sell one of my own children to get Gianni Alioski back right now. I genuinely would. It's that bad.
And then Allison and Marty, good to see y'all. They watch our show as well. I'd like to see that. Yeah. But he gets 6 or 7 goals a season as well. Another reason to watch Leeds United last season, their left back wears the number 10 shirt. Yeah. Like, what? How does that work? But then you see him put in some shots and you're like, okay, maybe he is a number 10.
Ended up in the south stand. In fact, most of them ended up in the south stand. But to be honest,
to me, it's that shit starting. It's that it's the one-on-one battles.
Shithouse,
you know. Yeah, and it's what got Pepe a red card when we played you guys last season, and he was so proud of it too.
I fucking loved it.
But listen, when you can't win your one-on-one battle, how are you like when you can't win it physically? How can you win it? It's like my dad told me a long time ago. He's like, look, son, mijo, you're not the biggest guy. You're a little chubby. You're not very athletic. Don't get into a fight with anybody because you're probably going to lose. But if you do, you know, make them laugh. Just make them laugh, and maybe they won't want to fight you. And so it's like things like that where, he may not be winning his one-on-one battle, but it's a mental game, and by the end of the game, that guy's going to be tugging on Alioski's shirt, and by the end of the game, he's going to be tired. Alioski's just revved up. Anyway, we can't continue talking about players gone by.
We digress. I apologise to anyone.
I just miss him.
I'll
take him.
Us. Anyway, moving back. Go on. I'm going to come to you, Chris. You're the positive one here. Tell me that we get to 40 points via a win against Arsenal at the Emirates. What are you predicting for the game on Sunday? And I want your goal scorers too. Who's going to score? What's the score going to be?
I think realistically, I'm seeing a 1-1.
Okay.
I could see either team getting a 2-1. So, let's go 2-1 Leeds because we need a win.
I like how you've upgraded that there, just because Lolo's not going to be so kind. Who scored?
I think Rafinha's got to get on the score sheet if we're going to get anywhere. The other one, I'll go Harrison. He's been doing well.
Yeah. Guys, as well, obviously, in the comments, get your predictions in. Let us know who you think's going to score. Let us know if you think this is finally the 3 points we need and the results around us hopefully fall as well. And we have a very opposite weekend to last weekend. No stress, all good. But before I flash up a load of comments that say that, come on, Lolo, let us know what you think it's going to be.
All right. as I told you guys, the first 20 minutes to me are going to be the most important. And if there is not a goal in the first 20 minutes, I think it could either stay that way or be like a 1-0, either team can nick it. But I think there will be a goal straight away. So I'm saying 4-1. Now here's the little asterisk. I think either team could win 4-1.
Oh, wow.
Honestly. Just because you remember Arsenal, for as good as we have been, when we're bad, we're very bad. Yeah. Similar to you guys, I would say. When we're bad, we become children. When we're good, we're like, oh my God, look at our youth squad. These guys are so good. They've been playing with each other for a long time. They're the youth, the speed, however, when we're bad, they become children who are going like, I don't even, and that goes all the way back to even Gabriel, who doesn't look like a child because he's massive Brazilian dude, but when he makes mistakes, you're going like, wait, I didn't even think that was possible. I thought you were so much better than that. So, if Leeds can come out on the front foot and score a goal, I wouldn't be surprised to see a second right away. Then we have to be on the front foot. Then we get another one. But then, if you guys have your pacey players up front, you have Rafinha on Nuno Tavares. Nuno could be out at halftime. Like he's been subbed out a couple of times already this season. So that's why I say it could go either way. Now, my official prediction would be 4-1 Arsenal. I just think I don't think you guys put the chances. I know you'll get chances, and I just don't think they get put away.
Yeah.
And then that allows us back into the game. We get our first goal. That forces you further forward. Then we're back over the top. That's when Saka can kind of take over a little bit. And Saka will be running at Firpo, I believe. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Saka will be running at Firpo.
Firpo ends up over there anyway, mate, so he might be.
Yeah. And if you watch any footage of Saka this season, there's all these clips of like even Man City putting 4 players on him and him dribbling around them. Saka has just been very good this season.
Young player of the year.
He could be.
Surprised me at all. Either him or Foden, but he's Foden, young player. Fuck knows. To be honest, I'll be honest. My pre-match preview, not going to spoil it, but I did go 2-1 Arsenal. I think the gap will be closer than at Ellen Road. I don't think we will allow 4 goals. I'll be surprised. I think obviously Man City is Man City, like you said, Man City light. I don't see us letting in 4, but if we are going to lose, I do think it would be a close one. I think we will score, but I think it might be 2-1 to them. But I'm going to go the same as what one of the guys in the comments said before. I'm actually really enthused by some of the things that you said, Lolo. I've got some sort of mild confidence out of you in that I think maybe I might bump up to a 2-2 or a 1-1. Maybe we can shut you out and limit you to 1 or 2 goals, and maybe we can create a couple ourselves. So, look, any point at this stage in this relegation fight is massive for Leeds United to genuinely keep us up. We've got those 2 games at the end of the season where ideally they're the places that we aim to get points from. Anything from you and Chelsea over the next week is a bonus. But yeah, if we could get a point at the Emirates on Sunday, that would go a long, long way to be able to give us hope going into those last 3 games. And look, I know you don't want to hear about Mark Viduka, and I go back to my childhood, and that's a game that is not just iconic for Leeds fans. It's a game that's iconic for Premier League football fans. That was a game that sealed our survival that season. It made sure that we stayed in the Premier League. For Peter Reid, of all managers, Harry Kewell obviously scored a 30-yard volley that day. Hart scored a free kick. For you had Thierry Henry and Bergkamp on the score sheet. It's a legendary game of Premier League football. If you're too young to have seen it live, go back and watch it. Fantastic game. But it does send tingles down the spine when you watch the highlights, and it does make you have just a tiny bit of hope and belief as a Leeds fan that, Arsenal are in the hunt for a top 4 spot. Fingers crossed we can at least halt that for you. Look, Liverpool are playing Tottenham, mate. You don't need to win this; they're fine.
That's what I'm thinking. Look, if Liverpool destroy Tottenham,
you can
then I'd be like, guys, if we're gonna let anybody win, let Leeds, like, not let you guys. That's condescending as all hell. But I'm just saying, it would hurt less.
Just let us. Fine.
It would hurt less. But here's something that may console you a little bit, or I don't know if it will. But Arsenal this season, we don't draw. We've drawn 3 matches. So that means when we go down a goal, like, we either collapse and do nothing, like we did against Southampton, Brighton, Crystal Palace, but we continue. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's either the no points or you might get all of them. I don't know about a draw. It just doesn't seem to happen against us this season. So
Chris, who is your Mark Viduka at Highbury on Sunday? Go on. Who is it? Who's going to give us that moment? You're the man that's positive.
Yeah, I'd love it to be Joffrey. I think there's 4 games left. There isn't as much pressure on this one. It's an away game. We've got home games to come.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he'll take his moment and be the Mark Viduka.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be so nice. I mean, I'm desperate for that to be what happens at the weekend. I am fucking petrified. I'll be honest. Thank you, LoLo, for coming on and giving me a little less petrified than I was an hour and a half ago. I do feel slightly more confident, which Chris has failed to make me feel for weeks now, despite his positivity. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to draw a line under it there, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, in the comments, thank you for all your interaction with us. If you haven't already, smash that like, as Oscar would say, and subscribe to the channel. We're nearly at 25k now. I'll pretend Oscar is still chained to my radiator. 400 more likes and he can be free. But yeah, Chris, as always, thank you for your time tonight, mate. Where are you watching the game on Sunday?
Nervously at home, I think. Yeah.
Right. Behind the sofa.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I hope it's a good one. I hope you enjoy it. And Lolo, where are you going to be watching the game?
I'm actually watching the match out front on the stoop. We have one of our stoop crew members, one of our longtime stoop crew members, is actually in town from England. So he's going to come over and watch with me and Spawny Mark. So we'll be up early watching that. But later on tonight, I hope you don't mind me doing this, but I'm going to post.
Go for it.
I'm posting the link to our happy hour show right there in the comments section. So if you guys are up at midnight UK time, 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight, we do a 2-hour show, happy hour, trash talk. We have 2 Leeds United fans who come on as well. Mr. Tom is one of them. Mr. Tom gives his betting advice or non-advice during it, and then we do trivia as well. We're going to have Stan the Man, an Arsenal fan. He's going to be on there. Mark will be on there, but we'd love to see a lot of you guys blow up the chat room. Even if you know you're not going to stay up until midnight, just click that link right now and throw a thumbs up and share it with some people. You never know. It's just a good time. Rhiannon is actually on it. She's been on it a few times over the past month, which is fun. And then I just wanted to give you asked for the Viduka moment. Yeah. So here in just very briefly, and I know that doesn't usually happen, in the alternate reality fears that I have is a 0-0 in the 90th plus minute. And you guys get corner after corner after corner after corner. And, like, time's up. But you keep getting corners, so they keep letting you take them. And we keep defending them so well, defending so well. The announcer keeps saying, Arsenal are one of the best records of it. And we're all like, shut up, don't say that. And we clear a header the wrong way this time. And it goes out to the top, just outside the box. And who's there? None other than Calvin Phillips to smash in like a 30-yarder buzzer beater, and we lose this match 1-0 in the 97th minute for his first goal of the season.
From your
that's been racking through my head of like, 4-1 will probably be the case, but I have this fear of like a 97-minute Calvin Phillips of all people.
I'd take it. It sounds lovely. So guys, if you haven't already, get the link open and get on the stoop at midnight our time. If me and Chris are awake, I do have kids, so I might.
So do I.
I will try my best to be there. I've got work in the morning. I'll try.
I've got football to watch in the morning.
I'll have a word with the missus. We'll see if she'll let me. Guys, get onto the On the Stoop feed in a couple of hours. Enjoy that, and obviously Leeds fans, smash those likes in there. And I haven't flashed it up because I'm not going to humour him any more than he's already been humoured tonight. Before we even started, Lolo put a comment about Arsenal. I'm not going to say anything else. But guys, go and fucking hammer his stream with "Come on, Leeds." I don't want to hear any of this Gooner shit. Let's just hammer his comments with Leeds United, all Leeds United. So, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight, Lola. I really appreciate it. It's been brilliant.
Thank you guys for having me. I always love being on the show.
If you seeing James in a few hours, send him my regards and tell him that we definitely want him to be joining you very soon on this show. We miss him very much. And Absolutely. If you speak to Bono as well for me, tell him I said hello and I'm glad that he finally got his wish and we're together.
Absolutely. We'll see him tonight, I'm sure.
Good. No worries. And Chris, as always, thank you for your time, mate. Enjoy the game. And I'll be speaking to you very soon, probably crying, but hopefully not crying. We'll see.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Thank you for your time tonight, guys. Cheers for watching. If you haven't already, smash a like, and obviously loads of content coming up over the weekend over All Leeds TV for the watch along, player ratings. So you know where to be. Keep it locked.